This is Civics Radio. And what's interesting about George Washington, and most people don't know this about him, is he wasn't just the father of our country. He was also the father of the first septuplets born in the United States. Martha gave birth to 7 children on October 5th, 1762. 5 of the children were very badly behaved and were sold into white slavery, while the 2 remaining, Maxwell and Hortense, tragically drowned in the Potomac while trying to retrieve their father's wooden teeth, which had fallen out of his mouth while he was beating a seagull with a canoe paddle. For those of you just joining the group, my name is Mark, and today is my last day here at the Mount Rushmore National Memorial. There have been some cutbacks at the National Park Service, and I've been let go, which, in my opinion, is a huge loss to tourists such as yourselves who are hungry for history, because I happen to be what we in the industry call a font of knowledge. Now, if you look to the right, you'll notice the next head belongs to Thomas Jefferson, who, and this may come as a surprise to you, was actually born without skin from the neck down. In fact, most of his childhood was spent in and out of hospitals due to his susceptibility to disease, what with the exposed muscle and sinew and whatnot. But in 1772, his good friend Benjamin Franklin fashioned a crude epidermis out of sheep bladders and carpenter's glue, held together by pewter hooks that Paul Revere forged in his silver shop. Paul Revere, you may have heard, was a smithy, which is one of my favorite words. He was also a eunuch, which was not very common for the 1700s, though there were a few. I believe Sam Adams was also a eunuch, and Nathan Hale, who I've been told had a wonderful singing voice. So that's probably something you haven't heard on any other tour today. It's interesting, isn't it? Oh, and by the way, if any of you happen to have a question, feel free to raise your hand and stick it up your ass. That's just the kind of mood I'm in. I see I'm losing some of you. Well, that's all right. It's more intimate this way, isn't it? And I happen to be very comfortable with intimacy. Unlike a certain Victor Collins, my direct supervisor here at the National Park Service, and my former lover. He's the man responsible for my layoff, as well as my monthly herpes outbreak. Moving on, we have the esteemed Theodore Teddy Roosevelt, our 26th president, and a well-documented pederast. He spent much of his presidency traipsing through Cuba and Panama in search of little boys to induct into his Rough Rider Club, whether they liked it or not. Bully indeed. He appeared briefly in a burlesque house comedy titled Tally-Ho Kathleen. He enjoyed playing chess and long walks on the beach. Coincidentally, so does my ex-lover slash boss, Victor Collins. Any complaints about today's tour can be directed to him. His office is located just past the gift shop behind the glass doors. He'll be the fuck in the stupid hat and chinos. He's hard of hearing, so I encourage you to yell whenever speaking to him and use as much profanity as possible. He's much more responsive when berated and under pressure. Next up, we have Abraham Lincoln, our first Jewish president and the inventor of dirt. He was, of course, our tallest president, standing 10 feet 2 inches tall. He spoke fluent Mandarin and walked with a peg leg. A thrice convicted arson, Abraham Lincoln grew up in an adobe hut and had X-ray vision. He was one of our greatest presidents, and his wife was mentally unhinged. Speaking of unhinged, let's pretend I'm Victor and you're me. Ah, gee, Mark, it's nothing personal. I gotta fire someone, and heck, I was gonna break up with you anyway. You're incredibly passive-aggressive, and that's not the kind of person that I want to spend my life with. You were gonna be upset either way. This is like 2 birds with 1 stone. Hey, oh, anyone have a stone? Let's go throw it at Victor's head. I'm just kidding. Violence is never the answer, as was so wisely stated by our 39th president, Cheetah Rivera. Okay, well, you two obviously have places to go. Have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of your stay here at Mount Rushmore, the only monument in America made entirely out of cheese.